All right, guys, welcome back to the Strike Twice Running podcast. I'm with Trey and Ray as always. The weather's getting great. I'm so excited. So I had to bust out the summer shandy from Kugels because it's just so nice out today. I know it's probably going to snow in 2 days, but you know what? It's summer like today. So I'm having a summer shandy. What are you guys drinking? Anything special?
No, tonight I'm just having water. But now I feel like I want you're making me want to go have the same thing now.
Yeah, I'm just drinking water, but Emery's at the store right now, and you made me want to just pause this podcast and call her real quick and tell her to grab some summer shandies before she got home. It's one of those that's one of those that I never think about it until I see Cole Bilbrey drinking one when we're playing cornhole, and I'm like, damn, that's a good beer. And then and then we'll just drink those for the next 3 months, and then that's it. But
Oh,
uh yeah, I guess I'll just save it. I'll save it for tomorrow. I'll wait till after Run Club and have one tomorrow.
yeah, I guess all of a sudden this has turned into the Trey birthday episode. Trey, you're going to be 27 tomorrow, so happy birthday, Trey.
Thank you, thank you.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, 27. You know what that means? It's just 1 year living without insurance, baby. That's a
I was thinking that. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, if you
It
need
should be good. We
influence,
got.
buddy.
I think. I think we'll do. We'll hit the Run Club, um, and then we might go mini golf where we took you and JC and um, go check it out because it's supposed to be like 75 degrees tomorrow. So I'm
Dang.
I'm not upset about it by any means.
I'm a
Yes.
lifetime member.
Yep, the Rhino Country Club, baby. Lifetime member.
Yeah, that sounds like a good way to celebrate your birthday. And yeah, look at that.
Uh,
Keep it
I'm
on.
missing. I'm missing out.
Ray, we'll go when you come down to visit. I'll take you.
All right, cool.
$10 for a lifetime membership, and you get mini golf for life, man, and discounted John Daly's. It's a hell of a business model. I got nothing but respect for what they do there.
Yeah, quite the deal. Huh.
The mini golf definitely gives that vibe that me and Hunter got like a little too drunk and made mini golf in the backyard one weekend. That's kind of the vibe you got going, but it's pretty great.
Yeah, it was a little chilly that night, but you just kind of drink through it and it is what it is.
Tough it out.
But
That'll warm me up.
yeah. So Trey he got a little surprise from Run Club last week and he had a tough decision to make. Trey, tell us about that.
So yeah, it was the first time I had been back to Run Club for like 2 months because I was out of town several times, either in Dickinson or in Montana, or there was nights where Emery would randomly be off on like a Thursday, so we'd go do something for her day off. And then there was the days where I just made excuses and I was like, oh, that's fine. I didn't actually miss one because all the other ones were justified because I was doing something. So it was the first time I had been back for a couple of months. But it was great. It was like 65 degrees and really good turnout. And the Hoka crew was there. Um, and they did a nice little raffle at the end and just gave everybody a ticket and handed out some prizes. And I ended up getting a brand new pair of Hokas, any style, any Hoka from the website. I could just go on and get anything I wanted. So immediately my brain was like, what's brand new and expensive? Because I was like, what the stuff I'm never gonna actually buy for myself. Let me go look at that. And I told myself all week that I was gonna get. They have these great high top hiking shoes on there that are really awesome. But um, and I told myself all week, and I think I even told you guys last week maybe that I was planning on going with those. And I opened the website to get the style and the size and the color and everything. As soon as I opened it, I went right to the Speed Goat 5 and just clicked on that and sent it over. So
Nice.
I did go. So I'm going with the Speed Goat 5, the blue graphite.
Oh, nice.
So, and the reason I changed my mind is because the reason I would never buy the hiking shoes is because I can't justify them. Because if I'm in the mountains, I'm more than likely running with Ray. And so I was like, if I'm really going to use a shoe that I'm going to be out there like, using on the regular, it's going to be the Speed Goat. And I've been wanting to get some for a long time. So, um, but I think anytime you get, $160 pair of shoes for free from your favorite shoe company, it's a good dang day. So I called it my birthday present and ordered them yesterday, and they're fantastic. The rep that's out here, he sent me the email and just said, "Hey man, any size, any color, as long as it's in stock, any style, go for it. Just email me." And I emailed it over, and he emailed me right back in just a couple of minutes, and had him sent over. And he just took my home address, and they're going to send him straight to the front door, so I don't even have to go pick him up or anything. So I'm pretty pumped. I got some brand new Speed Goat 5s coming in, so I'm really, really excited. And then this week, tomorrow, they should have, it sounds like the race director for the Hard Rock is going to be there. And so I'm really excited to kind of just get to, maybe if there's some time, if they're doing a little Q&A and stuff, I know we talk about all the time how much fun it would be and what a great experience it would be to run, to put on, a little bit longer of a race. And, Hunter's got some experience putting on a couple of really great 5Ks that just keep getting bigger and bigger, and you guys' prizes keep getting better and better. And it's super awesome. So I'm excited to pick their brain a little bit about what it takes to put on something at that scale, and now is probably considered one of the best and most challenging ultras that's out there. So but I think some of the folks at the run club that hadn't seen me before were like, damn, this guy got here and it was like his first day, and I'm just sitting there like drinking a beer after the run, and we're all just hanging out, and I didn't even hear my number the first time. I was like, what? Like, what's going on? So, but no, it was cool. It was like my birthday a week early, so I counted it.
Yeah.
Well, it's like we were saying last week. Any type of raffle you get in, you end up winning. So if there's another one tomorrow night, you better be putting your name in. Or you can put my name in for the heck of it. See,
I'll,
I'll win something.
I'll put Ray, and then as soon as they call, I'll be like, oh yeah, he left, but his
Yeah,
contact info's on there.
yeah. I had to go to work.
Well,
I'll
you'll probably accidentally win a ticket to the Hard Rock, and then you're gonna have to train for the damn thing. So that might be something you may not want to win this year.
I don't know if my 8 miles a week is cutting it right now. I don't know. I don't know if my 8 to 10 miles is shaping it up. I mean, what is it's gonna be? That'd be about 3 months away. 2 months, 3 months,
Not sure.
but
I don't know when it is, to be honest, but
not.
you can do it.
Yeah, I believe in you. We'll just plan on
Yeah,
you winning that raffle now.
yeah. We'll put a training schedule together.
I'll
Uh,
put it down on the calendar and just kind of speak it into existence.
yeah, I'm gonna really laugh if you
Um,
win something like, I don't know, something. That'd be too funny.
I think they posted a picture when this run club, I think there was about 15, 15 or so people, 15 to 20, somewhere in there, um, that, all came out for that session. And when they did their lottery, their golden ticket for Western States, I think that one was like more than double, like because they promote it, so you got
Oh,
40 plus people on like a nice run through the park, and then they all get back to the shop in that place. I mean, Hunter's been in there, so it gets pretty packed in there. But um, they always take a group photo outside to keep kind of promoting the run club, and have really good numbers, and it's a lot of fun. Coming down here, you just don't really. It's almost weird, like when you get to a city and you're like, there's so many people, you're bound to meet somebody, and then it's like something like Run Club, is kind of a cheat code where you can get in and like, all right, well, we share one hobby that most people aren't super stoked about unless they're really kind of sucked into the running world. So yeah, it's been cool. So I'm excited to see hoping for a big turnout, hoping for a bunch of people there because it makes it fun to go running through the park with 40 plus people in a big group. So,
Mhm.
but yeah, Speed Goat 5 on the way. So,
I was gonna say what you just mentioned about, the hikers that you passed up on could just be my own opinion here, but once you kind of start getting into trail running and like running more trails, totally ruins hiking. Because it's just like, even if you go for a hike, the entire time your mind is like, oh, this could be like a really cool time to run. Like, oh, I can't wait until this trail. Like, I only picture running and end up running half the time, even if I'm not like meant for it.
well, and when I'm running with you, I'm usually so out of shape that it's more of a hike for me anyway. So I usually I'll run with the watch on and I'll just get it, I'll just run until I hit just fully anaerobic and just on my ass, and then I'll like, okay, I'll speed hike it for a minute and then we'll just kind of speed hike it for a minute and then, get back to that's those switchbacks on Goat Flats. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a nice welcome back to the running game, but
Yeah.
um I figured, yeah, if I was going to be splitting it 50-50, I might as well get some shoes I can use for both. So,
I think that was a great decision.
so
And running is just fast hiking, so you get the best of both worlds, anyways.
Yeah.
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 Because you can hike in your speed goats, but it'd be harder to run in your Hoka hikers.
Yeah, the high tops, I figured the high tops would make it not really feasible to be picking up the pace too much. Not a lot of movement in the ankle region. So, yeah, I did it, sent it off, I stuck with it. There's no going back now. So, I think it's for the best.
Well, and again, anytime you can get a free pair of shoes at any cost, that's like even if it wasn't close to your birthday, it's like Christmas or your birthday when you get free shoes. So that's I'm a little jealous. I'm about to have to buy another pair of Hokas already, and I probably won't get them for free.
Well, that's something I think, we've talked about it in past episodes, but something that people seriously underestimate when they get into running. It's like, dude, your excitement about shoes, the level that like that's gonna rise is just gonna freak you out a little bit. And then one day you're gonna walk into your house and realize how many pairs of shoes you have, like how many pairs of running shoes you have, and you're like, well, I got my two sets of trainers to, alternate, and then I got some trail shoes, and then got some flats, and then some spikes laying around, and then you gotta have some flip flops or some recovery, shoes. And then, with Hokas, you might as well get another pair to just walk around in at work. So at that point, it's pretty soon you're like, all right, well, I basically have a mortgage payment worth of shoes at my front door and I just have to keep recycling that every handful of months depending on your mileage. But my my youngest cousin just or younger cousin just started his first track season and he was like, "Oh, I kind of want to do these three events." And of course all three of them are so opposite in terms of what they need for shoes. And so I'm like, well, this is what you're gonna want to get, and this is what you're gonna want to stay away from. And you're like, holy crap! Like, I'm like, that's just bare minimum. I'm giving you best case scenario. If you want to like really get into it, I can send you some links to get what you really need, but you're not gonna be happy about it, But he's younger. He's like just starting out, in high school. So I was like, well, take the year, you can get by with any shoes really and see what events you really like, and then you can buckle down from there. But um the sun's out and track is starting, so now we're getting into the real expensive shoes, so that don't seem to last as long, and you can only use them for one specific thing.
Yeah, you see the multi athletes, the heptathletes or whatever that they do 5, 7, 10 events and they have 7 to 10 pairs of shoes because you can't
Mhm.
high jump in your shot put shoes and you can't sprint in your javelin spikes. It's just you talk shoes. That is either the best event for shoes if you're a shoe addict, or the worst if you don't like carrying an entire duffel bag of shoes just to compete in one meet.
Yeah, yeah. When you have a separate duffel bag just for your shoes, that's one expensive bag, and it's also a bag that you really don't want to lose at the airport when you're heading to nationals. So that's I'm sure it looks a little funky when you're going through the when you're trying to go through security and you have a bag with 8 pairs of shoes in it and you're wearing a pair of shoes, but
So
so
life of a track athlete. But
pretty.
so the main juice of this episode is that I got a call from the race director of the Maah Daah Hey. And he texted me, I think, on Saturday and was like, "Hey, you got time for a call? Just want to give you a few updates." And the word updates was just horrifying to me. But I got a hold of him on Monday, and he said that the course is no longer a point to point. It is an out and back now. So it's not from the top of the trail to Medora, it's from Medora up 58 miles and then down back 58 miles. And it's no longer 106 miles, it's 116 miles. So it no longer is. It seems like everything he said, it was just making it worse. And I was like, oh no. Like, and it happened on April 1st. So at first I thought he was pranking me good. But no, they're changing the whole idea behind Maah Daah Hey 100, and I think it's going to get some mixed reviews because I think people sign up for it and want to run the whole trail. That's why I did it, and so now it's not a true point to point anymore, and they said it's for logistic purposes and things like that. But yeah, do you guys have any initial thoughts on that? I mean, I'm a little disappointed, but I mean, it is what it is at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be disappointed because for one thing, I don't really like just out and back in general. Like it's just, I mean, short distances, it's easy, but 50, what did you say, 58 one way?
Yeah.
Imagine 58 miles one, and then you have to go back and do the whole thing. That, yeah, that's a bit defeating, I will be honest.
I feel like the most challenging part out with out and backs is always like when you're just like in a when you don't feel good anymore and there's a point like where it's like okay, just a couple more miles and then I can turn around. But like when you catch that like moment of relief, when you catch like a nice smooth downhill, not like anything crazy, and you're just like cruising, you're like this is fantastic. And then your brain just goes, wait a minute. That's the opposite on the way back. And you're like, I can't even have a minute to just enjoy myself. So I think, with how much up and down and some people here in North Dakota, and they assume that that race is just going to be flat as can be. And it's like that trail is pretty wicked. Like, I mean, there's another 100-mile race that's on that trail that is a mountain bike race. And it is a true mountain bike race. For that reason, it is muddy and hilly and messy and perfect for it. But um, I think that's going to be the trick is being able to keep yourself in a good headspace of if you're enjoying it right now, just enjoy it right now. Don't think of what it's going to feel like, in 40 miles when you made the turn and you're coming back or whatever that may be. But and I'm phrasing it like that because obviously we talked about this before the episode started, but unfortunately, Ray and I have a scheduling conflict, so we're not going to be able to be at the race. So we were dead set and ready on catching a couple of pacing legs and crewing, and we had all these great ideas, and everything was going to be awesome. And then it didn't quite shake out that way, and so that stinks. But maybe it's good luck, like the 4x4x48. We just you just go off the grid, off the radar, and then you call us the next morning and say everything went really good. Actually, it went perfect. So that's what I'm waiting for. Is just I'll start my timer as soon as the gun goes off, and I'll patiently wait about 58 hours, and then I'll see where you're at.
Yeah, I think that just means that I'll have to sign up for another one this summer, or one of you guys has to sign up for one that we can all meet up at because we gotta get together for a race, whether that means we're all running or we're crewing for somebody or whatever. We got to do that this summer.
So when you're saying the old point to point, is the trail that like exactly like 106? So you would have done the full trail. Is that what it's set up as?
Yeah, so there's from the top near Watford City to Medora was 106. There's still that southern section that's like 44 miles, but they've never done the race on that section. So yeah, it would have been the full trail, the full um, point to point, which would have been cool. But yeah, I think it takes a mindset switch, like you said, because every time you go down a hill the first time, you're gonna have to come back up it, and vice versa. But I was talking to the race director, and logistically, it makes sense. It's got to be way easier to staff people for 50 miles over instead of 100. So
Hmm.
that totally makes sense. They're going to be able to beef up the aid stations, which will be nice. Probably add more, which will be great because they're pretty few and far between out there. Um, Another perk is everything that I'll see pretty much will be during the day, and then during the night it'll be sections that I've technically already ran. So
Okay.
that can be kind of nice too. Because I should be, yeah, I could probably be through the first half about when it gets dark, pretty close. So that'll be kind of nice. And without the northern section of that race, I won't have to cross the Little Missouri River. So I'll probably save a pair of shoes there, which is nice because I've been already working that out logistically. I already had in my notes which section had the river crossing and where I was going to change shoes and all
Hmm.
that. So um, logistically for the race directors and the staff to put on, way easier. As well as for me, there's some positive and negatives, but a big perk that I was thinking about was the people that are crewing for me, you know, they only have to span that 50 miles as well instead of chasing me through the entire 100 miles, as well as we can start and end in Medora. So we can stay the day before Medora and then get done and be in Medora where we're staying. So it's easier for everybody else but me, I think, which is okay because it takes a lot of people to make those races work. So
Yeah.
at the end of the day, what's the difference between running 58 miles one way or 100 miles? I think they're adding distance just because they have to get to that the 50. I think it's 50 56 is where it turns around, but they had a reroute somewhere on the trail, so it ends up being like 58 one way. Um, is what he was saying. So, I mean, what's the difference between 106 and 116 at that point? I mean, realistically, doesn't really matter at that point. So, like I said, I'm still excited. It doesn't deter me at all, but yeah, it's kind of threw me for a loop a little bit. I'm glad I'm getting this information now and not a month before.
Or you're a couple weeks out and you're trying to kind of calm your mind a little bit and go into it, and thinking you're ready to roll and you have all the information you can, and um, and that pops up. So at least at this point, especially being able to look at it and say that makes complete sense, and what, the sooner you just accept it and it's like that makes sense, we'll just move forward from here. And it sounds like that's kind of already where you guys are at, is just working out the rest of those logistics. But I think the other part too is um like I said, like enjoying those parts while you are enjoying them, because on the way back, if you're like, dang, I'm gonna hate this on the way back, then you're just hating it twice, and you might as well at least get something good out of it. Um, but as far as the other stuff goes, it's like for the crew, um, you got to think your aid stations and your crew help and everything is going to be amplified that much more, like just with that access now. It's like, yeah, it might not be mentally where you were expecting to be at, but physically, you can imagine there's probably going to be a little bit better nutrition, a little bit better hydration, a little bit better support all around. So it doesn't feel like you're going 28 miles to the next aid station. That's you'd be one aid station until the turnaround, and now it's like you can cram two or three in there, and you can kind of just hit that comfortable anywhere between like 13 and 18, maybe 20, miles, and get some good stretches in, and kind of get into a rhythm. And so hopefully it actually works out to be a much better thing. So I'm excited to hear about if that mindset switches on the last 10 miles to not making a difference, and then how it feels. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah, just looking at the distance between the checkpoints in the first section, the old first section, um, their longest point between checkpoints was like 14 miles is all. But now with the new section, basically running the second half twice, the longest section without an aid station is 10 miles is all.
Oh
So
wow.
yeah, it's and I guess they're not aid stations but checkpoints, so that's opportunities for my crew to meet up with me.
Mm-hmm.
But 8.5, 10.8, 3.4, 4.7, 4.2, 9.5, 7.2, and 6.4, and then it would repeat. So really, I'm gonna have access to um, anything every few miles, which is nice because I'm thinking they'll have to carry less water between stations, less
Mm-hmm.
gear, less food, all that because I'll be constantly able to refuel that. So I think that's actually a big advantage. Um, but still, I'm sure some of those, even the 10 mile or even the 5 mile sections, can get pretty pretty long at some stretches of that race. I'm sure.
Yeah.
But
I'm
even to
excited.
add, oh, I was gonna say to add to all that too, just seeing more people in general. That's kind of what I was going in my mind. Like you're gonna say wherever you're at during your race, but like when you turn around, it just opens up all the opportunity to see more people, which can be kind of like I think a benefit in a way. 'Cause I don't know, maybe not, but I picture if you're on a trail by yourself, for a long time, just doing your own thing can be mentally challenging. But to have that, now that it's all gone back, run into all the other crew and runners and whatnot, I think that would just be kind of be motivating in a way, just keep seeing people.
I agree completely because last weekend I ran Cole. He ran 54 miles, and I ran the second half with him. Ran 28 miles, so he ran 28 miles by himself, completely by himself. And I drove past him when he had about 2-3 miles to halfway, and he said just seeing a person that he knew drive by was so like motivating and reassuring to him that he just like picked up the pace and instantly like got the runner's high. So I totally agree with that idea, and just constantly seeing people that have your back, like because yeah, if you're out there in the dark by yourself for 30 miles by in a section, that can be pretty mentally rough. But if you got you know constant access to your crew, that's a huge advantage, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think also a big part with that too is being able to chunk out those sections as far as your cutoffs go, and knowing like, no, I don't need to run 30 more miles and beat this time. I just have to run 6 more miles and be here. You know what I mean? Like, especially if you're just, kind of find a comfortable, semi-comfortable pace and you can stick there and it's not an issue to be worrying about the cutoff, then you really can just chunk it out to those like you're going to get those huge confidence boost sections where it's like that 3.5 and 4.7 and 6.2 where they're gonna, they could kind of feel like um, they're getting knocked out a little bit quicker, and it's kind of just anything that you write down and then get to check off your list is that feeling, those short-term goals that kind of keep fueling you to go farther and farther. So that's, could be something really good, and might change your mind completely on the out and back too. Who knows? But
Yeah, I'll just have to get you guys out here and we'll just run the trail, the whole thing one time, so then we can say we ran the whole Maah Daah Hey trail.
yeah, we just got to do it a solo. It's just
I'd be up for that.
We'll have to do it in one day. We can break it up and run a marathon every day for 4 days and get the whole thing done. That'd be fun.
that'd be a good time.
That would be cool. Bring the drone, depending on what they have going on there.
Oh yeah, you can see a lot of buffalo and turkeys and pheasants.
So Ray, did you do a couple years ago? Did you do that ultra that was over in Butte?
No, never done that. Are you talking about um the divide one or is something else?
Oh, it was the one Abby was asking for crew.
Yeah. No, I couldn't. I remember I asked that. No, I couldn't get off work for anything. But yeah.
I think, yeah, if we could, find one that's relatively manageable as far as travel goes, and we can get something set like that, that'd be great to get us all together for one. Um, Especially just kind of one guy running and a couple crewing or something is always a good setup for, when it feels like you have a team behind you. I feel like that would make a big difference too. So excited for
Yeah.
that. Yeah, I guess getting that new information and kind of examining all that, like, did anything majorly change in your game plan as far as I'm sure you took a lot of notes and were like, okay, I'm gonna have to crush this section. I want to be here by this time and be like, I don't know how much you've looked into that, but that alone, changing that and adding those 10 miles and changing the time cutoff and everything, how much did that change your game plan as far as pacing and kind of attacked, the tactics of the race?
Well, obviously the second half doesn't change because that the second half doesn't change. Essentially, it's just the first half. But all the notes that I had previously, I've had to just readjust and change distances and things. But um, another advantage is I ran the marathon 2 years ago. Yeah, 2 years ago, and so I know this the last 25, 26 miles of that race very well. So for my training this summer, I only really have to get to know the other 25 miles, and then I'll have the entire 100 miles of that race ran before I even set foot on the course, which is a huge advantage, again, of living so close to that area. But um, it doesn't change a lot of pacing and things like that, because I haven't quite been working on all that. The main thing that I've been working on the last few weeks is my nutrition and hydration strategies while running. So every run that I go on, I basically am fueling with either gels or like a liquid carbohydrate or something like that, just to test different things with how my stomach's feeling, and that part's going really well. So I haven't really looked into pace goals. I obviously, best case scenario, I finish in 24 hours, but I think 24 to 27 or 28 hours is realistic for sure. Um, but I know where it got hard during that marathon, and talking to somebody who's ran that race, they say that's the easiest section. So that made me a little nervous because I thought that was the hardest section. But I guess when you're running 50 miles before you even get to that point, I guess things change a little bit. But um, it was, when you get information like that with anything, like if you get an injury or plans change, it's an opportunity to kind of reset and refocus your goals a little bit, but also like you have two options. You can react and be like, "Oh man, I'm pissed that this is changing. This isn't what I signed up for. I'm not going to do it anymore. This is going to be terrible." Or you can be like, "All right, everybody else is going through the same changes that I am. It's not nobody has an advantage over me. It is what it is. I signed up to challenge myself, and that's still what's going to happen." So, um, I'm excited for it. It'll be the first year they're trying something new to make the race better. And as even somebody who's just put on a couple little rinky-dink 5Ks, I can see how making drastic changes to races can be very beneficial. So, I'm looking forward to it, and I mean, we'll see what happens at the end of July. We can't really can't speculate this far out, but I'm going to get to the finish line. I promise you that.
Well, and
Yeah.
the other part of it too, like you're saying with the mindset, that it sounds like to me anyway, is that the more you talked about it, I kind of started phasing out that you were talking about the course changing and this and that. It just sounded like you were on a long run. Shit happens, and you get a cramp or you get a stitch, or the race plan changed, and that is what it is. But that's kind of just distance running in a nutshell. It never ever works out ever the way the way you think it's going to. Sometimes for the best, and sometimes for the worst, in ways that you're just like, dang, I didn't see that coming. But as far as the race plan goes, you can only know as much as you can, and then the rest of it's kind of up there for you know to just see what happens. So yeah, I think it'll be all right. I think your comment about already knowing half that course is huge. That as far as confidence goes, that makes a huge difference, with all that time that's spent at night as well. So
Huge advantage. I think honestly too, just listen to you. It's almost like I mean, yeah, maybe there was a moment of like you were phased.
oh, did we lose Ray again?
Hey,
Ray, not like this.
But it really just kind of sounds like still a race. Well, I hear you. Can you see
Oh,
me?
yeah, you froze for a minute there. Yep, you froze.
Oh, great.
start
Is
again.
it? Yeah. I don't. Well, am I back like normal, or is it
Yeah,
still
yeah,
kind of?
you're good. Yeah, we just didn't catch anything. It literally led all the way up and then just cut as soon as you started.
Gosh, it's like someone telling me not to talk. I remember where I was going with it. I forget what I even said to half of it. I was trying to say that your focus is already obviously like spot on, like you mentioned prior, not too long ago, that in the end it's still the same race. It's kind of like a great mentality to have anyhow going into it. Are you planning on getting out there as like practice to be out there in the dark, or just to get out there? I'm just
I
kind of curious.
I haven't decided. It is my definite goal to do that. I have some night runs written into my program, but I would really, really like to get a 20 miler at night on the trail, because I think that is super beneficial. But yeah, logistically, I mean, I gotta have somebody that's gonna want to follow me all night, you know, or at least pick me up or something, drop me off or whatever. But yeah, I would really like to, because I think it's one thing to run at night in town or in a somewhat familiar place, but when you're thrown out there in a place that's so remote, that I think it can be really disorienting. So I'm excited to. I'd really like to get some runs in at night out there, and at least maybe before sunrise and a little bit after sunset. I don't have to run all of it in the complete darkness, but maybe kind of in that transition between day to night would be a good opportunity to get out there and kind of see as the lights changing and things out there. But yeah, as much time as I can spend on the trail as I can. I'm 35 minutes away from the start/finish line, so I mean, I've been counting down the days. It might be this weekend that I get out there and start crushing that the other half of that course that I don't know, and then by the end of this month I could have that whole course technically ran. So I mean, I'm excited for it. I'm excited to. I guess I'm considered kind of a local to that course, and so I'm definitely going to take advantage of that for sure.
Right. Since I can't make it to the actual race, I was just thinking that if there was chance to just get out there sometime before, I'd totally go out there and I'd do a night run because I absolutely love being out on trails. And I mean, I've seen some things on night that that's a whole nother story, but it's really fun to be out before, dawn or dusk when on trails.
Yeah, you name a time, I'll be there.
Yeah. I'm just thinking in my head of I have some time off in June. I probably have like a 5 day spell, maybe
Perfect.
6 days off.
I'll give you the tour.
They got a great guest room. Man, you're in the business. Yeah, that's you guys would be set. And I know a guy named Cole Jensen that would probably spend his days off out there too. So
Uh,
you guys, you guys could get a nice little group
yeah,
night run out there. That'd be pretty sweet.
yeah, we
Yeah.
could probably get a whole group this summer that'll go train with us, I bet.
Yeah.
But that's all I had for this episode. Did you guys have any other thoughts?
No, not really.
Oh
I
yeah, I was literally just gonna say too, right before you said that, I was gonna say, well, we kind of came into this one as just a short checkup, just to, make sure that we're continuing to put one out, and keep people in the loop. I know um, I've had actually a couple of people that I talked to this week that said like, "Oh, make sure to send me the link. I really want to start listening to those and stuff." So, it seems like each week we just kind of round up two or three more people that are like, "I didn't know you were doing that. I'll listen to that." So, um, I'm excited to keep doing these checkups about leading up to the Maah Daah Hey. I think there's always going to be something to say about it, but never hurts to get a quick one in and check in on all the running news that we have, and nothing too crazy right now. But yeah, I felt like it's never a bad day to get the Zoom call going and get an episode going. So
I think we actually did kind of a shorter one. We might be creeping up on 45 minutes, but that might be our shortest one.
I think it is. I think it is. So
All right. Well, we will continue to bring you stories from the running world and from our personal running lives. Uh, Another glorious evening spending with you guys. Again, we talk about it every week. I just love doing this with you guys. Hopefully, somebody out there is getting something of value out of this, but I know I am. So I appreciate you guys. Appreciate everybody who's listening. We're on YouTube and Spotify as well. So check us out. We are the Strike Twice podcast, and we'll see you next week.
cheers.
See ya.